Hey, welcome back to Disco Life, and on this episode we're going to be talking about the state inspection.
Right, so we went to get the disco inspected.
When Andrew test drove on Saturday, the seller indicated that he would have the vehicle inspected in its home state, which was not our state, on Monday.
So I talked to the owner on a Monday after the inspection was done, and it passed that state's inspections with no problems.
So the next step is to get it inspected in our home state.
In our state, we're allowed to get temporary tags for 30 days before we actually get our full tags with the registration. So we had to have it inspected quickly.
So Tuesday afternoon, we drove it to an inspection site and left it there overnight for an inspection on Wednesday.
We dropped it off, and we were kind of nervous. I kind of thought it wouldn't pass because Mom thought it wouldn't pass, and at the price we knew there was going to be stuff wrong with it. So we waited, and they said they'd be done with it by the next day.
They didn't call us. We waited and we waited and we got impatient.
And made a phone call. I called up the inspection place, and they were like, "Oh yeah," and I could just tell from the voice it was bad news. You could just tell.
It had failed.
It had failed. What?
Because at that point, I kind of shut down. Like, I was not happy. I knew for $3,500 it was gonna have problems. I knew it wasn't gonna pass the inspection, and still I was not happy.
The things that had failed were...
So what had failed was...
So when we picked it up the next day, I was able to see the actual report. Power steering, apparently the power steering pump had a leak. And so the rotors were deemed too small. We'll get back to that later. And the calipers were actually frozen. There was lug nuts. Lug nuts? There was one lug nut on the left rear tire failed inspection. How does a lug nut fail inspection? If you're a Land Rover owner or a Discovery owner, you already know the answer to this question. But if you're not, stay tuned, you'll find out. And the other one was really simple, or so we thought. It was a tag light.
That's what failed. We went to work on repairing it.
So we were able to fix one thing really quickly. So when we got it, I was like, you know what? I know I can do the tag light. I've done tag lights on other cars. Let's just knock it out. Let's get it out of the way, get some positive momentum. Let's do it. And we go out, we bought a couple things. We bring home the supplies.
So these are some tag lights. We are going to be replacing the ones that are already in here so that the tag lights actually work. And I have no idea how we're going to do this, but we're going to do it somehow.
this was lodged up in there. It's broken right here. And so that's how that's gonna have to be.
Which end is negative or positive? But since the vehicle's off, it shouldn't cause any problems, I don't think. It might just be that both ends can be either. Not sure. But well, here comes Dad, so maybe he can help. Okay, I got that. I'm not sure which end's negative or positive, but are they both, like...
I don't know that it matters.
Okay. And what are you doing here?
I'm just going to try to super glue this on here so that this part will stay there where it's supposed to.
How long does it have to wait for it to be properly super glued?
Good question. I don't think all that long.
Probably says on the bottle.
So that's good now. Yeah, I've got to be gentle with this one since this is the one that I repaired with the super glue. Hopefully this doesn't break it putting it in. Should put it in first. Yeah, it's a little wonky there. Okay, now we're just going to put her in gentle, like.
You should probably...
That one seems to be, let me try getting this one a little better here.
Brighten it in any way, I wonder?
Now we have tag lights.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
So now we have working tag lights. That's pretty good. Yeah.
The other things took some time, right? Again, I'm very much an amateur mechanic. I really don't know what I'm doing, so I definitely use the aid of the internet, use the aid of internet forums and YouTube. And it took 2 weekends, basically, to get both the brakes and the power steering done.
One thing that confused us was when they said, for the lug nuts, they said left rear lug nut, which we didn't understand because which one? Like, which one specifically? I got it on camera.
So giving up a little bit on trying to get that fan out. It does not look like it's gonna come out. I can't figure it out and get it out. I can't get enough leverage to keep fully in place. So just to catch you up from where we were, we're able to get that fan out finally. I have the power steering pump over here. I've taken it out of the bracket.
So unfortunately the camera died. So when we were recording the power steering, we had an older camera. Not to say that it wasn't a good camera. It did have pretty good footage. It didn't have the best sound though. And it did have overheating and battery problems, so that was what was occurring when we were doing the power steering, so that's why we don't have a lot of footage for that.
So when the power steering pump came out, it really wasn't a whole lot to talk about. The pump itself was nasty. The bracket was nasty. So I spent a lot of time cleaning. Put the power steering pump, the new power steering pump that we got inside, bolted it in, not a big problem. Put the new hose in. We went through the bleeding process of kind of starting the engine and letting that pump start pulling in fluid, just doing it for about 10 seconds. Had really no issues with the reassembly. Once we got the fan out, everything went really smooth and was relatively quick. Sorry we didn't get putting the reassembly on video. It just didn't work out. So here we are on our way back from the inspection place. We took it off. They got it done pretty quickly this morning. But they called me and I could hear it in their voice that there was a problem. Apparently when we did the brakes, we put the calipers on the wrong wheels. All right, so we've got that taken care of. We switched out the rotors. Now we just gotta bleed the brakes. So let's see. All right, so we're in the disco right now. We're taking it over to the place where we had it inspected.
For the re-inspection and the little pass because we did a lot of work on it and all that.
Yeah, and everything they asked, so they should say it passed
just got a call from the inspector, and yeah, it passed. So I'm elated by that. Yeah, we're gonna go pick it up in a little bit. So now our vehicle is registered. It doesn't actually have to get inspected by our state again for the rest of the time we own it, that I'm aware of. So yeah, cheers to that.
If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up or a like, and please subscribe to see future content on this channel.